Hey guys, this is Versus Z bringing you a video review of S.H.Figuarts Kamen Rider Double CycloneJoker Xtreme, part of the final week of Rider Fest. If you'd like to know more about Bandai's S.H.Figuarts toy line, head on over to Guiltar's introduction to S.H.Figuarts. It's quite the informative video, and like Double O Rebirth always says, find out what you're getting into first. This figure was released by Bandai in August 2010 and retails for 3,200 yen. Roughly $38 US at current exchange rates. As you may or may have not saw earlier, the packaging comes in the standard S.H.Figuarts silver, along with a Cyclone green and a Joker black for CycloneJoker Xtreme on the sides. On one side of the box you have Kamen Rider Double in Cyclone green, with the rest of the text being in black. On the opposite side you also have Kamen Rider Double, but this time in Joker black, with the rest of the text being in Cyclone green. And also on the back, of course, you get the promotional shots of CycloneJoker Xtreme and some very nice poses. Kamen Rider Double CycloneJoker Xtreme is Kamen Rider Double's final or extreme form, as the name suggests. Now let's take a look at the details and paint-apps of CycloneJoker Xtreme. You do get this nice, very brilliant metallic green on the Cyclone side, although I do only have CycloneJoker as the only other figure I have with the Cyclone side. This is a very nice paint-app. You also, once again, continue with the black joints on the elbows and the back of the legs, unfortunately, but I am getting used to it, so it's something that I'm willing to accept. And you also get, of course, the die-cast feet, though there seem to be more die-cast in the legs. They just feel slightly more heavier than they normally are with other figures. Of course, with the silver trim, very nicely painted double driver belt, maximum slot, and then the extreme memory, which is very, very detailed and very well painted. You get the green light and the purple light for Cyclone and Joker. No worries about seeing the Cyclone and Joker guy memories because they don't show anyway, so it's very accurate to the show. But what I really appreciate is the fact that you can see the extreme memory symbol right there where the rotor should be, just like in the show. So very nice paint app there. The Joker side still maintains that semi-gloss, very toy plastic looking material, except on the torso where you do get the nice matte black finish along with the head. Unfortunately the shoulder pads suffer, so I wonder why that happened. They did it with Fang Joker. But anyway, the middle contains clear plastic over silver painted plastic, which is supposed to try and replicate the holographic platinum effect of the bodysuit in the show. But I don't think it's actually executed at all. Not even close. But anyway, on the head is actually one of the problems of this figure. It's very out of proportion and very round looking, as Double O Rebirth would say. It's got the MySpace Facebook head sculpt syndrome, where only the head looks good at certain angles. The compound eyes do look great though, and the details on the rest of the head is really great. Aside from the fact that it is out of proportion, the head is out of proportion, I haven't really heard too many issues with the paint apps, except here. I've got blemishes and I guess a mispaint for the silver trim down the Joker side. I might go over that with my own silver, but that shouldn't have happened in the first place. Aside from all that, the details are pretty a-okay. CJX comes with 4 pairs of hands, making a total of 8. You get splayed open hands for Cyclone and Joker side, henshin hands for both Cyclone and Joker side, or sometimes I like to use them for the Shotaro style pointing. You also have the holding things hands for him to hold the prism beaker, sword and shield, and of course closed fists. And here's the somewhat detailed yet nicely done prism beaker accessory. Now it is missing the colors for the guy memories. Instead of being colored, they are all black. Once again, there should be a Cyclone, Heat, Luna, and Joker for these respective guy memories. But once again, it's disappointing that they're not painted, so that's a little bit lacking there. You can pull out the prism beaker sword, which is once again okay detailed. There should be some more painted detail around here. You do get the extreme symbol there. You flip it over and you get some more details that are there, like the button here is not, for some reason, is painted but not here. So there are some missing paint apps on one side and then also some missing paint apps on another. And the green on the sword is just this metallic green, although in show accuracy it should be clear green. Now I'm pretty sure if they can give you clear parts all over CycloneJoker Xtreme and clear parts for the compound eyes, I'm pretty sure they can give you clear parts on a very small sword like this. Setting aside gripes for now, you can have CJX hold his Prism Vicar weapons in his holding things hands very well, and there's no problems with loosening things or having parts pop off out of the hands. So this works out great. Now let's take a look at CycloneJoker Xtreme's articulation and posability. Now he does have that same double jointed neck joint that allow for a nice reach at different angles all over, rotate side to side, tilt, pivot, do whatever you want pretty much. You still get that ball jointed swivel. Armor pieces are separate. Arms can go out of the body about that far. Bicep rotation. Double jointed elbow bend. It's actually a very nice flush. Double jointed wrist bend. You also get a very nice moving chest rotation or chest articulation, which is a little bit more free moving than the normal double molds. And then you also have a sort of limited torso rotation due to the huge Xtreme memory. Legs can kick out about that far, kick forward that far, kick backwards that far without any angle alterations. Double jointed knee bend, which is actually very impressive looking, and of course the multi-jointed die-cast feet. Pivot up, pivot down, pivot inward and outward, and of course the toe bend. There's also a hip joint inside there that I barely ever show in any other S.H.Figuarts review, but it does allow you for the legs to go up and down, just so you can allow the legs to move a little bit more freely. And I almost forgot, there is the hip rotation. CycloneJoker Xtreme's posability is just as simple and as fluid as any of the other Kamen Rider Double S.H.Figuarts figures. Now there is supposedly more die cast in the legs, so I do find that sometimes the legs do flop down when I want certain poses. But just to get an idea, this is a wide-legged stance pose. The feet aren't as solid and they don't give such a solid stance as Kamen Rider XL, but it still works out, as you can see. You can always pose CycloneJoker Xtreme in a very simple pose, like a stance, or in the very extremely simple henshin pose. Or you can take advantage of using the Prism Beaker shield and sword accessories and definitely make the best of the posability and articulation that S.H.Figuarts CycloneJoker Xtreme has to offer. Once again, with the very stable legs, you do get all the stability that you need. Another thing that I really enjoyed about CycloneJoker Xtreme is that his anklets and bracelets aren't as loose or as wobbly as the rest of the double molds, and it does make swapping the hands, for me at least, a lot easier, so that helps a lot. And as you can see, the CycloneJoker Xtreme's head is tilted in a certain way so it doesn't look so big. That's a perfect example of 00 Rebirth's Facebook, MySpace head syndrome. And of course, if you got yourself a Tamashi stage act, you could perform CycloneJoker Xtreme's rider kick, the Double Xtreme. And if you've seen up to episode 48 of Kamen Rider Double, then you know what kind of rider kick this is. Okay, so for my final thoughts on this figure, taking everything into consideration, the details, the paint apps, the articulation and playability of the figure, along with, of course, the asking price, which is once again 3,200 yen or 38 American dollars at current exchange rates. What are you paying for? Well, I think you're paying for just the figure. Yep, just the figure. It's a final form figure, and sometimes Bandai will charge you extra just for something that is a final form or something special. This figure is no exception. And I say that because, well, you get a wonderfully done Xtreme memory on the belt. You even get the Xtreme symbol in the rotor, which is something that Bandai sometimes leaves out when it comes to small details like so on a driver belt or a henshin belt. But when you look at the accessories like the Prism Bicker and the Prism Shield and Sword, it's very lacking. You do get a nice silver paint app and gold trim for the shield, but the guy memories are not colored. They could color them on Kamen Rider XL, but not on here. It's missing green, red, yellow, and, well, black is fine, but green, red, and yellow for Heat, Cyclone, and Luna. I'm pretty sure they could have done that. Especially if they could paint in a little tiny X for the Xtreme memory. And also on the Prism Beaker sword, there are some paint apps, or I should say a lot of paint apps that are missing. And the plastic used for the edge should be clear, kind of like the GN Sword 3. But overall, you are really just paying for a figure. The figure not only looks good, but it really feels stable. It feels definitely more stable than any of my other double figures for some reason, and it could be because there is extra die cast within the legs, aside from the ones that are in the ankles or the feet. But overall, this is only recommended to those who are fans of CycloneJoker Xtreme, or diehard fans of Kamen Rider Double, to the least. The design isn't really all that favored. I, for one, wasn't really used to it until later on, and now it is one of my favorite Final Form designs. Not the top, but it is one up there. The head sculpt is another knock against the figure, and the fact that you don't get that holographic, very cool looking prism effect like it is in the show is another disappointment. I'm sure that's what they tried to go for, but it just wasn't executed properly. So this figure does have its negative points, but for the most part, I think if you are a fan of CycloneJoker Xtreme and you do appreciate the figure for what it is, once again, it is very stable. It's a much more stable figure than any of the other double molds. If you could take that into consideration and maybe ignore the sort of minor knocks against the figure, honestly, the paint apps for these guys look really great. But if you're a paint application, I guess, enthusiast, then that's really not for you. And the asking price for this, once again, at $38. Like I said, you are really paying for just the Final Form. And if you're not really into it, then I could say pass. But it still is a great figure. And once again, only recommended to those who are fans of CycloneJoker Xtreme. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review and got something out of it. And if any of those who are curious, I hope you found this helpful. But before I go, I really got to thank everyone who participated in Riderfest. It was a great collaboration. I'm definitely looking forward to something like this in the future. But for now, I gotta say sayonara to Double, and sayonara Riderfest. Thanks for watching, guys.